My horror story with an insane billionaire's son. In December of last year, I met Nick on Hinge. I thought he was incredibly handsome and attended a prestigious school for a D1 sport. Before we met, he seemed respectful and genuinely interested in getting to know me. The first time we hooked up was strange. He asked about my SAT scores, complimented my rosy cheeks, and even put a U-zin in my mouth while we were making out. He stole my lighter as an excuse to see me again. He also mentioned losing tens of thousands of dollars gambling in the past. My judgment was questionable, but I found him endearing, and he still seemed like a sweet guy. He lived in another city, so I saw him a few times over the next couple of months when he returned to our hometown. That's when the red flags began to appear. The third time we hung out, he asked me out on a date, but showed up 2.5 hours late. We went to Blaze Pizza, where I watched him devour an entire pizza while I sat there feeling awkward. Afterward, he confessed he was an alcoholic and had been in rehab during his freshman year of college. He shared a disturbing story about a scar he had, how he had harassed a woman in a gas station, and her boyfriend hit him. He retaliated and escaped on his bike, only to be pushed off by a passerby. He also had a minor meltdown when he noticed I was wearing a men's coat and had cut my hair shorter since we met. Eventually, we became exclusive. When I agreed to date him, he cried tears of joy and revealed he came from a billionaire family. We dated for 6 months, and I was exposed to a level of addiction and recklessness with money that was shocking. He would buy express Amtrak tickets at the last minute, spending hundreds of dollars each time, and racked up massive Uber bills on his family's account. His parents paid him $50 an hour to walk their dog, yet he was always broke. He was a demanding boyfriend, shady with other women, and struggled to accept no for an answer. He shared stories from his past, including trying meth after being offered it as a free sample, and losing over $20,000 to a con man at a casino. I thought he had changed, but 3 months into our relationship, he started gambling again. I had never witnessed a real addiction before. And it was mind-boggling. He spent every free moment at the casino, often staying all night. He began losing significant amounts of money, but his family was oblivious, even though he lived with them. He even implied he knew my bank account details, which made me change all my codes. Things took a turn when his father's alcoholism worsened, leading to his dad going to rehab. My boyfriend started drinking again, and within 2 weeks, broke up with me and slept with another woman. I discovered this months later when I found a selfie he took with her on the day he ended things with me. By the end of his relapse, he was drunk all the time and would call me, threatening me and flaunting his education. No one in his family realized he was drinking again, so I confided in his sister. Within 24 hours, they sent him back to rehab, the same place his father was in. But the rehab center only allowed one of them to stay, and his father kicked him out to a much lower quality facility. Eventually, my boyfriend got out of rehab and moved into a halfway house. I told him I didn't want to be with him anymore, but he left the halfway home and came straight to my house. A few weeks later, I learned about the other woman and started questioning a formal event he attended just before we started dating. When I finally ended things for good, after several attempts where he would cry and beg, he lost control. He threatened to email my private photos to my family and my job, demanded $1,000 in cash for our dates, and even claimed he would have me institutionalized. He was fixated on me attending his friend's engagement party with him, and when I blocked him everywhere, he messaged me through Spotify with more threats. He even hinted at putting a hidden camera in my room and accused me of having an STD. It was a wild ride I should have escaped much earlier, but it certainly makes for a gripping story. There were countless other entertaining aspects I didn't have room for, like him suing his school for failing 2 classes and his obsession with his younger brother's anatomy. I understand his crazy ex-girlfriend's behavior now.